My name is Stephen D'Alessandro. I'm the Executive Director of Advenio E-Academy. Advenio E-Academy is a higher education institute set up in Malta. In 2013, we got licensed to provide online education. So to us, online is not a panic solution to COVID. It is our channel of choice. We believe that for adults, I'm not talking about children, I'm not, in this area, for adults, we cater for entrepreneurs, people who are very busy, people who have to juggle work and life balance and to put on study. E-learning is the solution because it allows them to take dead time and use that for study. Well, we formed a consortium, and our partners in this are international universities. From Greece, we have University of Ioannina. In Italy, we have University of Bari Aldo Moro. We have University of Žilina from Slovakia. And from Vilnius, we have Vilnius University from Lithuania. In addition, we are fortunate to have a very important partner, which is EUCEN, which is the European University Continued Education Network. And this is a network of so many European universities. And with us also is eBusiness Systems, a sister company which was responsible for the development of the software for the project. Why ARPEL? ARPEL is basically accreditation, recognition of prior experience and learning. So this project builds on the 2018 directives in the EU, where educational institutions must provide recognition for prior learning. So what we've tried to do is to develop a system where entrepreneurs, so we are talking about people who have a minimum of 4 years experience, can build on that experience that they have, both in terms of educational experience and the prior work experience, to be able to continue to study for a bachelor's. So the system that we have developed is based on research. We got Erasmus funding for the project, and we started off with 2 streams of research. The first was to identify best practices of recognition of prior learning systems and processes. And the second was to look at, in this post-COVID environment, what subject mix do we need? So on the basis of that research, we then had to design, develop, and produce an accredited program. And this is the key. The program that we are offering is accredited at 180 ECTS credits. That means that any student who graduates would have their program automatically recognized throughout the EU, because the ECTS credit, part of the Bologna process, obviously there's automatic recognition. So ARPEL is the first part, and in the system we have developed, the program is basically based on different elements. So on the research that we've done, we've divided it into 2 parts. The first stage is the ARPEL. This is a computer-based system. In other words, the accreditation, the recognition of prior experiences and learning, it starts off with a computer-based interactivity. So applicants can go on, log on, and they would be asked to develop like a checklist to identify what are their formal learning, what are their informal learning, what are the non-formal, and what are the experiences. We are here to give the benefit of the doubt to the participant. So any relevant experience which they think should be included can be included. It is structured in a way so that there is a weighting. Clearly, a meeting at the Boy Scouts convention is not going to be given the same weighting as a cash flow development meeting for accountants. So the system is programmed to be able to put different weights to the different categories of activities. Once the first checklist is completed, the system will provide a preliminary estimate and say, look, on the basis of all the items you have developed, you will get 80 credits. The next step is the participants have to substantiate every item that they have identified. So they are asked to put up a supporting document. And there are different supporting documents. It could be a certificate, it could be a reference, whatever. We'll go through in more details. But at the end of the day, the maximum they can get is 90 ECTS credits. After that, they have to do 8 core subject modules. That gives them another 64 credits and a final research project of 26 ECTS credits. And that gives them the full 180 ECTS credit program. But students have the option that when they finish the ARPEL, so that can be concluded in 2 or 3 weeks, they may decide to say, look, I've got my 90 ECTS credits, I'm going to go and study somewhere else. And they can do that because it is independent. It's a standalone. They will get the transcripts, they will get the certification that recognizes their prior learning. Our idea is that we want to encourage entrepreneurs. As Maria mentioned earlier, education is a safety net, it's power. We want to get entrepreneurs to invest in themselves. And we're fortunate that through the Erasmus funding, we're able to offer, the first program will be scholarships. So we're offering 40 scholarships. These are 8,600 euros each scholarship. So it's quite a valuable package that they're getting for free. These are what I was explaining, the components. The bachelor's, we have the ARPEL, so it's maximum 90. So if they get 74 ECTS credits, they can still do the program, but instead of sitting for 8 subjects, they will have to do 10. Because in fact, the program we're launching, we already have 10 modules developed, and students choose 8 out of the 10. If they have 74 or more, then they can choose to top up to get the 90 ECTS credits by doing the missing credits. Again, this is an accredited process. We've been through the national regulator. The national regulator involved ENCA, which is the European Quality Association for Education, as evaluators of the system, and we have accreditation of the program. We're actually waiting for the formal certification, but the system has been evaluated. As of now, students can log on and start. So the ARPEL process, where they have to submit their documentation, has a framework, has a structure, and it works in this way. There are 4 different stages to the process, and we always talk about the 4 steps: formal learning, informal learning, non-formal, and prior work experience. In the first stage, we are basically collecting the data in the ARPEL process. In the second stage, so this is the person logs in and you have a section, formal data. What formal courses do you have? And you fill in the details. I went to this university, I did this, I went to this school, I went to this, and you fill in the details. Informal learning, again, you have a number of questions that you're able to answer to show maybe you've been to conferences, seminars, whatever. Non-formal, today we have so many people who have, following, whether it is an online course or study that is not certified or accredited, but it's still valid. And finally, the work experience. What experiences do you have? That's the first step. And the system will provide a preliminary estimate. The second stage is about substantiation. Okay, so now you have to substantiate what you have spoken about. So you said you had this certificate, fine. You need to upload a scanned certificate. Informal learning, you went to those events, you have to upload, confirmation of attendance and the learning outcomes. What did you get out of that event? What have you got from it? At that stage, if you have work experience, you may be asked for a reference or an outline project, whatever you've done. You need to substantiate what you said at stage 1. At the end of stage 2, the system will automatically reevaluate the first estimate. So maybe in your first stage, you identified 50 elements, but you could only substantiate 40. So the system will recalculate the number of ECTS credits you will be eligible for on the basis of the documentation that you have submitted. The next stage is the evaluation. Here, the system includes a calendaring system. So you will be appointed and allocated an evaluator. This will be a member of faculty of the partner organizations, and you will have a formal interview. The interview is a semi-structured evaluation interview, and it lasts an hour, 15 minutes. And in that, you are asked to talk about your experiences in formal learning, non-formal learning, and your prior work experience. So again, you know what to expect. And the evaluator is going to, confirm or modify the number of credits that will be awarded. The evaluator may require a second interview if he or she is not convinced. After the evaluation process, and there is a detailed rubric that needs to be used by the evaluators, they will confirm the number of ECTS credits to be awarded. Before that is published, that number is revised by a validator. So there are always 2 organizations so that there is a conformity in the award. Once that is confirmed by the validator, the system will provide automatic notification and the transcripts, and the system certificate will be issued. So in the ARPEL process, at the most, the students can get 90 ECTS credits. Does that make sense? Are there any questions or queries?
No, it makes perfect sense. Thank you.
If I'm not clear, please feel free to stop me. Don't worry. Okay. So the second stage, so if the students have completed the first stage, then the next stage is the subject modules. These are the 10 subject modules that there are. This is at level 6, bachelor's degree. So at the end of the exercise, students are going to get a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship. If they have the full 90 credits, they can choose 8 out of the 10. They may be asked for particular ones. So if, for example, somebody doesn't have a background in accounting and finance, the academic board may insist that that is one of the selected subjects, So we will try to give the student the backing that they need. The next step is then the component, the final project. This is, we call it an embedded business development plan, because this is targeting entrepreneurs who are already in business. So really, it's about using the information the data that they have to develop, whether it's a business plan, whether it's a growth activity, a startup for a new, we have a whole range. And again, there's a formal set of evaluation criteria through which this can be evaluated and processed. Registration process, again, is all online, so students can go now straight away on the website and log in. The process is, at the moment, we have 40 scholarships available. So as I said, the program itself costs 8,600 per student, but at this stage, we are launching it as an Erasmus project. So the first 40 students will have a scholarship on the program. Clearly, this will be on a first come, first served basis. So we encourage those who are interested to log on and start the ARPEL process, because that way they will know if they will be eligible or not for continuation on the program. If they don't get the 74 ECTS credits, they will not be able to benefit from the scholarship, because that is the minimum threshold they need to carry on with the bachelor's program. It's an innovative program. It's something different because it allows people to start with the ARPEL. So they have from now October till the end of December to complete this stage. And then in January, we will start with the formal course subject modules. Are there any questions, any issues? Pericles. I'm not sure which is your surname, whether it's Pericles or Christo.
It's Pericles Christo.
So Pericles is your name?
Yeah, it's my name.
Hi, Pericles. Thanks for joining us.
Me too. It's nice to meet you. I saw your presentation in chess entrepreneurship program.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, this was a very interesting project.
Thank you very much for your interesting presentations for entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial education.
I am biased. I believe passionately in entrepreneurship. I believe we need smaller governments and more independent businesses because competition is in everybody's interest.
Yeah, you are right.
Congratulations for the program you have made. It's very important because they have the experience, and quite many of the education they will have, it will be after the results they have already about behavior and about capitals.
Yes, in fact, I must say one of the exciting aspects of this project was the partnerships that we've established, because each of the universities came with their skills, their competencies, their resources. So we have very different course subjects. The content, we have developed a framework that works. We have very low dropout figures from our programs because, unlike many other online programs, we insist in ongoing student involvement. So for us, if we run any of our courses, we run courses at level 7, level 5, and even we have level 4 courses in e-commerce, for example. But what we focus on is there is a minimum of 1 tutorial live which students must attend. Whatever the course, there's a minimum of 1 tutorial per week. That's the only commitment they have, where we say, look, Wednesday at 5:30, every Wednesday, that's when we meet. That's obligatory. The second, we use forums, online discussions, as part of the evaluation. So in the core subject modules, students must. We don't have examinations. Our argument is that these are subjects that you don't study for, but you have to work, and it's more project-based. So it's assignments and case studies that we use for evaluation. Their participation in the tutorials, we put a lot of emphasis on communication skills. One of the important skill sets that any entrepreneur has to master. It is about communicating internally in the organization and externally, with so many different entities. So there are three elements in the evaluation: participation in the forums. So they have to do research. They have to, discuss particular issues during the program. So they have 4 different questions to be addressed during the 6-week program that they have for each module. The second aspect is the participation in the tutorial sessions, and many of the tutorial sessions will have short case studies that will be discussed and evaluated. And third is the assignments, which may also include case studies. So the focus is very much on understanding the concepts and theories and applying them in the real world scenarios. In fact, one of the subjects is business simulation. Here we use a popular business simulation game. Typically, there are about 20,000 players at one time, and we're able to use this as a basis for learning. So it's an interesting program that we've developed with our partners. I thank you for taking the time to join us. I hope that this little presentation has whet your appetite for more, and we look forward to your feedback. If you want any queries, if you just send us your email address here, if you just key it in, we will make sure to keep you up to date with developments from our end. So just send us your email and we'll include you on our mailing list to keep you up to date with developments. Thank you to Anashwara and James, very hard-working members of the Advenio team, and we look forward to your feedback on the project. Thank you very much.